Yanji beats Adam. Last round, gets sniped. Adam wins 3 legitimate games, gets 7th. Hey, all, and welcome to another episode of the Win and In podcast. As you can see, it's a little different. We are in video. However, for those listening to us on audio, I don't think you're going to miss out much, honestly. We might do little bits here and there in the future, but for now, I think it's all going to be the same. Just now you can see our faces. So take that with what you want. But now it's a little bit not so much of a surprise who's going to be our guests, because now you can see their beautiful mugs. We have two. I don't know where you would be, but let's just say in the middle, Mr. Gabe Hohenstein.
Howdy.
I don't know how this edit's going to be. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
And yeah, and then to the my far right, Mr. Jonathan Wyatt. We got the crew back.
Howdy.
All right, hell yeah. So, this is this is a work in progress, but hey, we're getting better and better every day, and we're getting more and more listeners every day. And you know what? I got to meet some of you guys this last week, so let's just jump into that. This is the last weekend. In fact, I'm almost for certain like all the games are done by now of the nationals across the globe. I think Germany was probably the biggest one that was happening this weekend. But this is coming from last weekend where we had the U.S. Nationals, which brought 435 people. It's a huge amount. This game is growing because we are getting more and more people in the competitive scene. And then the calling happened, which had even more people, not a lot more, but 450-something people. It's good turnouts, great turnouts. So, yeah. Let's just go through it real quick. Any takes? I'll give it to you first, Jonathan. Any takes for the final days of nationals?
Yeah. I mean, pretty happy to see that that's ended. It's been a pretty exciting season to watch. Kind of glad to see the amount of people that are willing to come out and play, represent their nation. One of the big things that I noticed was just from the week 3 breakdown. There was no deck that reached above 15% representation across like all the nations. So
yeah,
like we weren't seeing like a 50% aggro deck meta. So like it's really kind of nice to see like such a wide representation across the board there.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. Last national season, Briar was the name of the game. I mean, that was like sweeping across. That's what we saw most of. But have we this is such a healthy meta right now. We're seeing so many different heroes take the first place. We're seeing at least like 4 or 5 in like the top tier. Like we're seeing results from. Like, it's been pretty good. Gabe, you're coming to Worlds.
Yeah.
You didn't get to make it to Dallas.
Yeah.
What are you preparing as far as coming into Worlds?
Said?
Yeah. So because you're gonna be there,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have our own cameraman there. So we're gonna have great
sick.
content.
It's gonna be so sick.
Like we're all gonna have to sign fucking waivers and disclosures on everything. But
we're gonna get canceled.
Yeah. Well, let's hope not. Yeah. So what you thinking?
So I think I'm gonna bring down Briar for sure.
Okay.
Just because I have the most.
And Briar has been doing good in Nats as well. Like I think has been the underdog, but Briar is one of those decks that's just constantly it's always going to be present in the meta. I think always.
I think
so. Yeah,
I mean, one channel mount heroic can just ruin someone's entire day.
That's such a good card.
That's why you play it, right? Yeah, I think I have the most reps on her, so I feel the most confident.
Okay.
Just because there's
a
lot of work to get done before nationals, so I'm gonna try to play test or Worlds. So I'm gonna try to play test and get everything ready, but there's still a lot of other things I got to do to make sure we're ready.
Okay. All right.
We'll find out.
Well, so based on what you've seen through nationals, Jonathan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I was always kind of intrigued with Oldhim, but at the same time, he's just not a playstyle that I really like in the game.
Even the aggro style.
It doesn't go wide.
It does not go wide.
And
It does not.
I think going wide is actually quite frustrating for players to deal with. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm more that kind of aggro.
Makes sense.
Otherwise, I'd be playing Brute.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
That's kind of my tall hero.
You know, if Rosetta Thorn gets banned, I might be all about that Brute life.
Oh yeah, I think Brute's pretty awesome. I really want to see more help support from future sets for Brute, and I really want to see the class explored a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like actually playing at Worlds, I'm leaking a little bit more towards Spy and Icelander right now.
Okay, let's talk about that, because I think those are two decks that surprised me from the U.S. Nationals. And obviously the Icelander that surprised me, and gotta be most people, is Michael Hamilton's Icelander.
It is weird.
So
it is
weird. I don't know nothing
so
about
good.
the deck yet. I didn't look it up. I just heard that it was weird.
So what's going on is that you're running cards like Fiendl's Fighting Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
Wounded Bull, Scar for Scar.
Ooh.
You're running attack actions in this Icelander deck. And the attack actions, other than Scar for Scar, that's always going to be a great card. But where else have we seen a Wounded Bull? Like, what deck has ever ran Wounded Bull? Or even Fiendl's Fighting Spirit and like meant to swing with and not like a popper or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a Cavity play Fiendl's Fighting Spirit.
Hey, tank dash, dude.
Tank dash. Well, that's another deck that like appeared up.
Hey, are we allowed to talk about it? Are we allowed to talk about the tech?
That's a secret.
All right, so some behind the scenes there. All right, so Canada National happens. So that's another national that happened. And Tariq Patel's Oldhim took that one, but there was this dash deck in there, Mr. Walker's dash deck, and we all saw it, and we're like, "What a freaking meme, dude!" Like, we were dogging on it so hard, and it was like 2 a.m. for you guys. Mm-hmm. It was 12 o'clock for me, and we're like, "All right, let's just play it. Let's just build in, play it. Let's just see how it goes." And then as we were playing with, we were like, all right, there's a little bit of something here. There might be something here. Gaining life, healing bomb might not be a bad card.
It took all but 2 hours just to go from like pure meme joking to like, oh, this Mark Walker, he's a prophet.
Yeah, dude.
The truth.
Oh man. And then what do we see in the top 8 for US Nats? Another dash deck, just like that. A few differences, but pretty damn similar. So dash deck is real, that's for sure.
I just love how the mechanologist has really been innovating, and it's just so true to like the hero, the lore, like.
Dude, I know. Like, dash has always been the deck. Like, when you see that hero, you're like, well, which one is it? And it's so true even now. It's like, is this gonna be attack low power dash? Is this pistol control dash? Or is this I'm gonna gain life and fatigue the hell out of you dash?
So dirty.
I mean, you go to a call and you don't expect it. You see them just play down a sun kiss. Like, what are you gonna do? Like,
you're like, oh, that's cool. And like honestly, initial thoughts, like if someone actually did that to me, I'd be like, and I'm guessing like first round or some shit, I'd be like, oh, cool, this is your first game. You know, that's what it would have been. And I probably would have lost because I would have just like had that mentality.
Oh, God. That'd be so funny.
So, okay. And now we have Icelander just like that. Because now with this Michael Hamilton's list, when you sit down across from an Icelander, is it going to be attacking you? Is it going to be setting up and doing this combo against you? Who's to say? Who's to say? And that's like one of the benefits now. So Icelander is very interesting. And then finally, the Fi, what was interesting to me is I think most people written off Fi and said he's all but dead. Then UK Nationals happens. He takes first plate. Matt, or who was, I don't know. Matt.
It was like Kadachi Fi, though.
But it was a Kadachi Fi. Anyways.
His name is George.
George, okay, I have it. I literally have it. Let me just grab it up here.
George of the Jungle, dude.
George Roger. I wanted to say Roger, but then I was like, no,
Why?
you're thinking Matt Rogers.
Oh, the Roger family coming
I
in.
just, your lame joke just hit my brain now.
Lame.
Uh,
What do you mean lame?
Dude, those
is
are
that
like
the one with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, back in the old days, man. Dude, Brendan Fraser was the man.
Dude, what was up with that? Like, George of the Jungle came out and Tarzan right after. Like, there was like some sort of like
Competition.
I don't know, primitive man little phase in
Ooh, that would be a
Hollywood.
good box opening. Primitive man. Jonathan, you want to tap into that one?
Yeah, follow that up. Anyways, so five wins UK Nationals. I ran him off as dead. I think a lot of people did too. Five hits UK Nationals. Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, so there's something to Fi. He's giving Oldham a bit of problem. And the U.S. Nationals, the final list was Fi versus Icelander. And this Fi ran Searing Emberblade. Now, personally, I want to say this Fi also had Northern Hood. I want to say if this Fi had either Mass Momentum or Massive Pouncing Links, I think this Fi wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think I wholeheartedly think that this Fi beats this Michael Hamilton's Icelander. But regardless, not only was a Fi the semi-finalist of U.S. Nationals, but it was the most represented hero of U.S. Nationals. And I'm not talking about the draft. I'm talking about CC. So Fi is back, and he's back in a big way.
I like Fi. Fi's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him back. I mean, I think this new deck presents a lot of really interesting on hits with Soaring Strike and Mounting Anger, kind of as like your big Draconic 4 hits.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it offers a lot of opportunity, including snatches.
It runs E-Strikes now.
Yeah, I love the E-Strike like meta with Ice Heroes.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Go tall on them.
Yeah, maybe that will bring the price up from $20 to $50 again. Like...
Dude, I know, right? They're actually a pretty good buy right now.
Oh,
I have a friend that does Market Watch on his YouTube channel, and I was like, yeah, that's good. I like that.
Not bad.
I was wrong. I said that there would be a Dromai in the U.S. Nationals top 8.
Mm-hmm.
There was none. There was in the calling. There was one Dromai in the calling.
Nice.
There's also, going back to your brute, there was Jonathan. There was a Briar in the call, sorry, Briar. There, I don't even think there was. Not in the calling. There was one in Nationals. We know the guy, Brody Spurlock. We have some video with him. I got to stay with him, so we'll you guys will see us all hanging out. But there was a Reinar in the top 8 of the calling.
Ooh,
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact: if Brute doesn't have to deal with the aggro decks and just beats on Oldhams and Icelanders, he's in a good spot. So
Bomber.
We'll just see where that goes. He beat me, by the way, that
Ooh.
guy. And that's when I realized, damn, I was a little closer than I thought to getting that top 8. I didn't think I was that close. But I made day 2, and I lost to him round 1, and I won the rest of my rounds till I lost at the end.
So yeah,
and I was like,
your
man,
breaker must have been great with him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But congrats to him. He was a good sport about it. I got to meet a lot of you guys. As far as the fans, I got to meet some of you guys at Nationals, which that was really cool. I appreciate you guys coming up and saying hi. I wanted to give a shout out to Logan, because Logan is a guy that, for whatever reason, has always seen me play Oldham, and whenever he's there, I always play my best. So that's like my good luck chart. Like,
poor Logan.
So yeah, well, I appreciate it, because I'm always like, yeah, I'm trying out Oldham, and then I'll win the pro, or I'll get like an invitation with the Pro Quest, or I'll get 9th place out of Ballahard in New Jersey, or whatever. I don't know. It just always do very good with Oldham when he's around.
Is Logan going to be attending Ballahard in Dallas?
Oh, I guarantee it. I think he judged the last one, and I got 12th at Ballahard in Dallas in the last one. I'm getting top 8.
Oh yeah,
it's happening next weekend. We're gonna get a bit of footage on that, but I'm getting top 8, guys. That's my fucking statement here. I'm getting that top 8. I'm gonna get that Winter's Well playmat. It'll be great.
Get your hammer.
I'm gonna get my hammer.
Hammer time,
Let's speak about that real quick.
baby. Ooh.
Let's speak about that because there was Battle Hard in top 8 at this last weekend in Charlotte. And one of the Sneep boys got top 8 in the most controversial way ever.
That's
Just
a Sneep
weaseled his way in.
I mean,
Oh God.
first off, love that's Adam because I swear to you, no one else on this team would have had that. That's just a classic Adam sort of deal.
Just
Like-
clumsily walks into like this like misunderstanding.
Oh.
Let me actually set this up.
Yeah.
So Adam,
I think you should start
okay.
with the day before it too.
No, we're gonna start the whole thing with Adam. Adam is all right. First off, Adam's the homie from Montana with our boy Gabe here. Those are our Montana boys.
Yeah, we hate Joe.
Well, you know, we'll see Joe at Worlds. Then that'll be fun. But anyway, so Adam comes. We're doing all testing, and in typical Adam fashion, everyone has their deck down, their hero down. We're deck, getting our decks like to the T at this point, and no one knows what the Adam's gonna play. Right? No one knows. And then the morning of the flight, he's like, "I'm on Icelander. I found the light." I was like, "Okay." We do nationals. He does I think he does 2-1 in the draft, and just like 0-4s with Icelander, right? All right, we got the calling, whatever. We'll do that, right? This guy, he's in a room with Paul and Rosendo, which is another friend of ours, who could be a teammate here pretty soon. So he's in a room with them. They wake up to their alarms. They take showers. They move around. Noise is made, right? Like that happens.
Lights are on, right? Like
right. And then they go to the calling, and well, Paul he goes to day 2 because he actually did quite well in the nationals day 1, so he makes day 2. And Rosendo as well, actually. So they both go to day 2. But anyways. The calling happens, and we're all kind of we're all around the Cold Flow Control boys, me and Jeremy. We're all playing the calling, and we're like asking each other, like, "Have you seen Adam? Where's Adam at?" This motherfucker just slept in, wakes up at 2 p.m. We're like, "What the fuck, man?" So didn't even play in the calling, and then the next day, none of us are going to touch top 8 because that's going to hurt our elos or the battle harm. We're not going to touch battle harm. That's going to hurt our elos. But Adam, whatever, his elos can go up or down, doesn't matter. So he does the battle harm, gets 3 on his first draft. That's legit. That was well earned. Good job on him. And then he drops. I don't know how that happens, but it happened. He's waiting with everyone else, and everyone else is getting in their pods, and he's like, "Yeah, my name's not on the phone, the name's not on the list up there." So he goes to a judge, and the judge is like, "Oh yeah, you drop." He's like, "Well, 3-0, can I get back in?" "Yeah, sure. We'll put you back in, but you're gonna go in with the low ranking 0-3 people, and there's only 5 people in this pod, including Adam." Adam drafts for whatever the hell that draft end up being. Like, it's just people like freaking rare drafting at that point, right? Mm-hmm. Like the people that stayed around just wanted to get the packs that they paid for, basically, right?
Easily.
Like that's what you do. Anyways, Anyways, his first opponent doesn't show up because he just wanted the pack. Second opponent, same deal. Now Adam's 5-0, playing 3 games. And then third opponent, which is Yanji, kicks Adam's ass.
All right, someone had to bring him back down to reality.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, 5-1, that's pretty good. You damn right it's pretty good, because now, Adam, you're 7th place, and Yanji,
you're
9th place. Yanji beats Adam. Last round, gets 9th. Adam wins 3 legitimate games, gets 7th. Oh boy! So in the most controversial way, Adam gets the top 8. He does win his first round of top 8, but then loses the next. But yeah, Adam gets the winter as well. So yeah,
Yeah, when you're
good for him.
royalty, when you're royalty like that, you just don't understand the plight of commoners, right? Straight to top 8, no problem.
That's just yeah. It's like you already got your golden ticket. You did it.
Wow.
Hey, that's what
man.
I'm doing. When I go to Worlds, is
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 3-0. I'm gonna
right.
drop.
Yeah.
You throw me right back in. I'll just start from the
It's
back.
the way to go. It's the way to do it. Oh man.
Can't believe it.
Yeah. So, but overall, so that was kind of a recap of what happened. I think we'll have a vlog out, a little video.
I think the vlog should be out
video.
before the podcast.
Yeah, it should be fun. So, we'll have that out to you guys. You can go check that out. Yeah. Okay. So that was nationals. That was like the whole encapsulation of nationals. Like you said, Jonathan, not one hero is just probably like the most dominant. It's not nationals of last year. It's a new nationals. We're getting all heroes. Hell, even one Azalea made a freaking top 8. So come on now, that says it all. But I had, and this is a good transition with that Azalea. I had a fan come and ask me. It's like, he knew of the podcast, but he didn't, and he knew we have a team, but he wanted to know like what that means and like what we do as a team. And basically the Sneep team, we're just grinding. That's what we do. We're just playing games, and that's the best way to learn is just continue playing games. But I think that's half of what a team is, and that's half of what at least Team Sneep is. I think the other half is being able to bond and just have conversations and go out and do stuff. Which this team is a little special in that way because we're from all across the country, right? Like we got Jonathan and most of the team in Dallas.
Yeah, we got the DFW side.
Yeah, DFW. We got the OGs in Montana, and then we got me here in Vegas on my lonesome. So, so we were thinking, like brainstorming. It's like at nationals, like what should we do? What should we, do to like kind of hang out? And we came up, and we'll probably do it right after this. Is keep things fun and lighthearted. And we're gonna have a little tournament with the hero Azalea. We're all gonna be playing Azalea decks.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I knew you'd be about it, Gabe.
Like this.
Yeah.
For like
we're all gonna be playing Azalea decks. Yep. And basically, you keep playing until you win. Once you win with Azalea, you're out. All right.
Okay.
You're playing. It's all mirror matches, right? We're all playing Azalea decks, and then the loser has to cosplay as Azalea.
Oh,
that's the deal.
I like this. I like this.
What's your thoughts, Jonathan?
It's kinky.
You're about it. You're good with it.
This could be awesome.
I get because here's the deal. I've seen your eyes, and it's.
Just don't lose.
I just know what type of Azalea deck I'm gonna play if I'm in the tournament.
You're in the tournament.
So, yeah.
All right. I'm mostly kidding on that. Actually, I'm not. We are going to do it. We're not going to do it right after this. We'll do it on the off season, but just doing fun stuff like that to keep it's not all about grinding is really what I'm going at with this team. Just have fun with it too. You should have fun on your team.
I think one of the most important things is just the casual conversations we have and just how open we are to talking about any aspect of the game. Like whenever any news comes out, whenever we see any memes on Twitter. Any conversation piece is really up on the board here. So really, Flesh and Blood is kind of the best opportunity for us to just socialize and just have a good group of guys to hang out with. So
yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. Beautiful. Okay, all right. So let's move on. So let's talk about what else has happened. One thing that I don't think we've covered yet. Actually, hold up. Before we get into this, something happened over Nationals weekend. involving a very well-known player, a very respected player. He was there at the calling. I got to see his name quite often, Mr. Tyler Horsepool. And do you want to take over here, Jonathan?
Yeah, so he was playing in the calling, during the national weekend, and he ran into an issue with one of his games where he was playing with his opponent while he was on Ultim, and his opponent was on Viserai, and the game went to time, and there was just a misunderstanding in the discussion that both players were having, and a judge was called kind of to help mediate that, and that was kind of part of the misunderstanding. And what ended up happening was that Tyler Horsepool was assigned a loss due to asking for a concession from his opponent. So that's kind of like how it ended up. So based off of that, he just kind of listed the scenario, didn't list any names other than his own, of course.
That's good. That's respectable.
Yeah, exactly. And then he just listed out a bunch of questions that he had around the concession rules, and like really how consistent are they, and what are they, what's the goal of that ruling, right? So I think it just opened up a lot of interesting questions for myself, because I know I've had issues with the way the concession ruling works. Being an aggro player myself, I have an opinion about getting fatigued. So
I think
yeah.
that's when I've seen you the most annoyed, is when fatigue happens.
Yeah, it seems like ever since I
sense.
joined the team, everyone just keeps fatiguing me.
We were like, how can we get at Jonathan?
Oh, I'm being put through the ringer, dude. Like, it's I'm being trained in the mountaintops right now. It's crazy. But like, kind of to my point is that a lot of aggro players, they're kind of in the mindset of, I hate fatigue, and if someone fatigues me and we go to time, I'm just gonna let us draw. Because F that player, F that style. I don't like how it represents like the game.
Well, I just want to ask real quick. Was the Tyler Horsepool, like, I don't know if he mentioned it or not. I actually didn't read the tweet or wherever it was. I'm guessing it was on Twitter. Was he playing a fatigue type style, or did this just happen to get to a point?
I don't think he necessarily acknowledged whether that was
Okay.
his primary goal, but it did end up getting to that point, right?
Right.
And
yeah. Either way, you get there, right?
yeah, his opponent kind of let me kind of pull up the article bit here, because this was like kind of the main point, was that his opponent had 3 major positions.
Okay.
So the first position is that decks that are trying to fatigue deserve to draw. So that's kind of a typical response from your aggro players.
Right.
And then the other side was that decks that are trying to attack deserve extra time to think out their attacks.
Okay.
All right, an interesting point. And then the third point was games should be played to their natural conclusion anyways, which was another interesting point. I disagree with points 1 and 3 on that as an aggro player. So
yeah, if you don't mind,
if you have a point, just
well, I'm more curious because I myself am very much a control player, but Gabe, you're all about Briar.
Yeah, great deck.
I want to hear what you have to say as well.
Okay, points 1 through 3. Number 1,
or just in general. I mean, let's talk about points. I do like the points, but just in general.
Yeah, how do you feel about like getting fatigued, right, and like going to time as the aggro player? Like,
I think,
what would you do in that?
Yeah, I think if you're an aggro player and you're just strategies to get fatigued out, and if you get to the stage where you're getting fatigued out and you can't play the game, as an aggro player, you have failed and you weren't actually able to do your game plan and pitch stack well enough to actually get through that. So you kind of deserve to get fatigued out and get pissed.
Okay,
that's my opinion.
Okay.
I think if you can't,
we have a bunch of reasonable people on this team,
right? It's like if you can't play around being fatigued and you don't know the game plan and you just get fatigued, then that's kind of on you.
Sure.
Because you'll never get fatigued if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, what's your opinion, Eric?
I 100% agree with that. That you won't get fatigued if you know the game plan. I think when we have these draws that happen, and I don't know if he mentioned if this was a day one or day two sort of deal, but whenever I as an Oldham player, I used to play Fatigue Oldham. That was the deck that I enjoyed playing, and the times that I went to a draw, and after that, I told myself that's never going to happen again. But when I would go to a draw, it was usually in the early rounds, and the reasoning is because I would face either newer players or players that weren't as experienced. Because truthfully, experienced players will know how to go into that game plan. Like you will be able to tell pretty damn quick that I'm trying to fatigue you. And so you should be able to have a game plan accordingly and follow that through. The game should never come to a draw if both players know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly believe that. I hate the notion that fatigue players deserve the draw, because I will argue, and there are slow players that play fatigue. That is absolutely true. I've seen it, and it shouldn't happen. Like, if you're playing fatigue, you should not be slow. But I would argue that 90% of the time, at least through my own experience, it has been the aggro player that has taken more time than I have. And I understand they are the ones attacking. I understand that's going to take time. But as a fatigue player, I know what I'm doing. I'm zooming as fast as I can to do it, because I know it's going to be a long game. If you don't know that as well, to like Gabe's point, it's on you. And I don't feel like it should be on me and I should have a draw because you don't know how to play towards it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion there.
Interesting. So, yeah. I think you're wrong.
I'd be totally cool with it. Well, I will say, I do think we have a bit of a disagreement on one thing. Point number 3, I am kind of okay with that.
I like it.
To an extent. I do disagree with it in the extent, because I do feel like there's a time where you know you won't win, and at that point, there's no point in playing it out. But if you feel that way, fine. I don't think I can argue against it too much. I don't know.
So my issue really comes to, like, they just need to clarify the concession ruling, right?
Okay, that's fair.
You're allowed to concede. You're allowed to concede before the game goes to time, but you're not allowed to concede once it hits time.
Right. It is very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's just like What are they really trying to? What's the difference between the game ending? Right?
That's a great question.
Like, they're saying there is an instance there. So, like, for myself as like the aggro player, you know, they've given us 5 more minutes to shuffle our decks, right? So it's really just 5 more minutes to play at the end of the day. So I have 55 minutes plus 1 turn to kill my opponent, right?
Yes. Yeah.
In whatever way possible, whether that's through pitch stacking, through just
physical
drawing lucky hands, or what have you. I have the opportunity to implement as many of the resources that I've built in my deck to kill you within that 55-minute range. If I do not do that, I do not consider that a successful deck, and I think I've lost in those scenarios, right? So if there is an option for me to concede when I feel like I've lost, I think that I should be allowed that option to exercise that, even if we've gone to time.
Right.
Because sometimes you just want to figure out the math. The only area where I feel like I want the natural conclusion to be played out is those, like, games where, like, when Chain was prevalent, right? And he had that last turn to kind of think out, all right, here's what's left in my Bannerstone, and here's the 4 cards in my hand. Like, that was like a type of conclusion that I wanted to reach, because the conclusion was either I die or you die.
That's true. Turn. Yeah, it's a black or white sort of scenario. It's no in between there.
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like that was like, those are the areas where I want the conclusion to end naturally. But otherwise, like, if I'm playing Fi into Oldham, if I can't kill you in those 55 minutes, then I feel like I haven't done my job as an aggro player, because that's my time limit, right? I have 55 minutes to kill you. You have 55 minutes to survive. And that's
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Oldham players are playing like that because they're all running
Yeah,
pummel,
not anymore. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
glacial footsteps, thunderquakes, all that stuff. So like,
Right.
yeah, it's like it's not even the same Oldham anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So
like,
it makes me wonder, like, how that. I mean, games can go to a draw. I mean, that can just happen. But I do wonder, like, what led up to that. But I don't know. I guess we won't know unless because it wasn't like on a feature match or anything.
yeah, put the onus on the players that are playing the game, and then you have a goal, and if you don't reach that goal, and if you don't think you can reach it, I don't see the point in punishing someone else as well. It's like it just kind of feels pointless in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, and like, what better time to know when to concede? Like, the problem is when you have, like, you can't concede after time. That means you have to be, like, aware of the time. I mean, you should have an aspect of when the time is, but they only have the time in, like, one spot, and sometimes that could be behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you won't necessarily know. Like, you might know where the time is, but you won't know when there's, like, less than a minute left necessarily, like, unless you're constantly looking. And so it's like, and even if there was, like, people don't concede, like, with, like, 5 minutes left on the clock unless it's pretty well known. Like, if you feel like you still have a chance, you're not going to concede until you guys are going to hit time and it's going to be a draw. But the only time that really happens is when the time hits, right? That should be the perfect time to know, okay, I'm not going to win this game, I should concede. Or I feel like my opponent can't win this game. I want to propose that my opponent should concede to me or whatnot.
100%.
It should
you
be,
have the time
yeah.
to do the math then, right? Like, you have one turn left.
Right.
You have the time to do the math, right?
Also, like, maybe then you just like, okay, this is my last final turn. If I can't beat him, I'll give it to him.
My question is, does the current concession ruling actually stop people from conceding normally, or does it stop people from rolling the die for the win? Because I don't think it necessarily actually stops that behavior.
I think the only thing it does is that judges tend to come around to the last matchups that are still going on. And so it allows a chance for a judge to be there to prevent that. Perhaps that's the reason why you can't concede, but I don't know. Still
I've seen people die roll for the win at the last minute because they both hate the rules and the way that they are right now. And it's
the
just
fact that a draw gives you no points is the most killer thing right now for concession, or I mean, for, like, being a draw.
I mean, give them like half a point, give them a quarter of a point, like
something,
whatever it is. Yeah.
Make drawing mean something, and then we won't have these, like, where people are like, all right, you should concede here, or maybe I should concede. Like, that's not even that. We're not even talking about this anymore. Thoughts, Gabe?
Yeah, my thoughts are, so when we were down at the Battle of Hardin in Portland, this kind of happened to Adam, not to the same extent, but he went to a draw and his opponent was, I don't remember exactly what happened, but it didn't feel good. They both drawed out.
Mm-hmm.
No one gave each other the win type of thing. And so Adam was kind of like it was pretty favored on one side, if I remember right. And so then he was talking to a judge, and I don't know if you know this about the consent or the draws are, more or less how the judge explained it was, it's still better to get a draw early game than it is to get the loss. And the way that the pairings will be set up later on with where your match wins and losses are.
I mean, yes, but, like, only to, like, the thing is, if you were given half a point,
no, I agree completely.
That means so much more, because,
they need to
like,
fix it without a doubt.
Yeah, because what it does is that now your opponent win percentage isn't down.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's like it helps with your pairings in greater. Like, you'll maybe get paired up, and then that's good for you if you win against them. But, like, when it comes to, like, the points on the board, it's zero.
No, I agree. No, it needs to be fixed. They know
And we're
about
not
it,
even
and they just don't do it.
talking about the time lost by these players, like getting the draw, right? Because they're going from one end to the other end, and then once they submit their information, they're going to the next table, right? So
It's so true. Yeah.
these guys don't even, they get no points, they get no bathroom break, so you just
No.
gotta hold it.
I mean,
Oh,
truly. I mean, the bathroom break sucks. You can call it and get a bathroom. I think what really gets you is when there's no food break. You know, and like you're starving.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
or maybe one of your bros, one of your homies, maybe your significant other guy came and gave you some food, but you don't have time to eat it still.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's rough. It's rough.
I don't have a significant other, so I just have to play aggro, hope I get the aggro mirror, and
That's
then just
yeah.
10-minute game.
That's easy.
I got
easy.
30 minutes to eat
steamroll
food.
Everyone go ahead and reply with F because Jonathan lost his significant other. His significant other is moving to Japan.
Yeah.
And
How
we
dare
will. We will.
this,
You know
man.
what? We are going to have Blake back on as a guest. We'll have him back on from Japan. It'll be a fun little episode.
Oh, it'd be
We'll
so
get
sweet.
some Japan talk or whatever. We want.
Yeah, and it sounds like there are quite a few events that are kind of going on in Japan.
Yeah.
Like
Next
learn to
year,
play events.
We're getting
Yeah.
a Japanese nationals. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We got more nationals this year from like other countries. Like I don't think Thailand had a nationals last year. And like some other countries that I didn't remember seeing last year got a nationals this year. So the game's growing. It's growing.
Good things.
Yeah, I can't
Uh,
wait to play in Japan. I mean, I think that'd just
That'd be
be
cool.
cool.
We could all go mob down.
Yeah.
That'd be so sick.
I want to
That's
get
it.
some Japanese sets, right? And like,
They have
I
a
don't know.
printing over there already, you know?
Yeah, so like depending on like how they do handle like the whole Marvel situation, I would love to see some of these Marvel cards getting reprinted, old Marvel cards getting reprinted in Japan, and like having a Japanese.
That'd
version.
look cool.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool opportunities for that.
Definitely.
So, unfortunately, I do miss my boo. So, no more carpooling to events and talking about anything and everything, right?
Yeah, honestly though. Yeah, Blake's such a homie.
The
for
man,
sure.
the myth, the legend.
Oh man. I mean, really it was you and Blake that came over to Sneep, and then the Sneep Pro team just grew from there, you know.
This is the catalyst, right?
Yeah.
Really though,
So-
genuinely.
Also, we are totally joking. Blake and Jonathan were never like an actual couple.
Whoa,
I don't
whoa,
know.
whoa.
I just want to put that in official. I didn't want any rumors or anything like
All
that.
right. Well, now you're telling lies because we were tied at the hip.
I'm trying to be sensitive.
How dare you get in between my and Blake's love like this? Like on a podcast too? Like, all right.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're the leader of a podcast, so now you just write the narratives? Okay.
I do, and you guys just have to
Tinfoil
follow.
hats.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that Blake's gonna be in Japan. Unfortunately, while he's much wanted and loved on this side of the world, he does have a family to support. So
It makes total sense. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we're definitely gonna miss him. I've already started putting in some work to visit him sometime in spring or summer of next year. So
cool.
I'm
That'd be
hoping
sick.
to like get like a good like week and a half to like 2 weeks to go visit him, and maybe we can like hit up a game store or something.
Oh yeah. No,
Superpower.
I'm excited. I'm excited for Blake. I definitely am. Okay. Let's just get to our final topic, which is the new Armory set that is out this October. We are looking at Mr. Yoji, which is
The bear?
our new hero. It's Yoji, right? I think so.
I think it is,
Yoji
yeah.
the bear. Yeah. So we have a new Guardian hero. If you guys haven't already figured this or seen him, he is definitely a UPF hero. I would not recommend playing him in Blitz. It would be pretty baller if you got something, but just stick with UPF. This is your counter player hero, Mr. Yoji. I'm trying to pull up his damn. There he is. Um, yeah, so we got him.
He's a thick boy.
He's a thick boy. Everyone suspected he was a guardian, including us, and sure enough. And then we're also getting the Blessing of Aethers, which are an interesting way for wizards to play the game. I think we might even see the Blazing Aether be played with the new Emperor. I do think that's a hero that could be in Blitz. So keep. I'm keeping the hype up on him. I really do believe in him. As Paul went on record and said he does not, and I will hold him to that. So we will find out.
Fire feet.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that with the whole Blessing of Aether card, I think that's like kind of interesting that like we've only ever seen like Guardian get cards where it's like, hey, this will be destroyed at the beginning of your next turn, and then it will empower your next attack, right? So kind of interesting that we're seeing Wizard be able to stack their damage a little bit more, which leaves them a little bit open to.
It reminded me of Runeblade Incantation or Runeblood Incantation. Where it's just like a delayed trigger. I totally see what you're saying, like with like the surges and whatnot. It's just basically Wizard has an aura now, which is just kind of weird in itself.
Even Towering Titan, right? It was
true. That's another one. Yeah,
that was an aura that was like kind of seen early on after Crew came out. But yeah, I think it's kind of interesting because it's it's an action card, so like it can turn on your wand, your Waning Moon.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of interesting the play lines that could happen out of this. But yeah, I think I would most likely put it with the Emperor right now.
Yeah, it seems like his card. It does come in all three colors. It is a rainbow version. But yeah, I'm stoked because it seems like with all these supplemental sets with Crucible, Everfest, and now Dynasty, it does change the playing of certain heroes. Like you do build new decks accordingly. And when it comes to like something like this with the Blessing of Aether having a delayed trigger, we're already seeing that there might be some changes to Wizard on how Wizard gets played. We might not just see a combo Kano anymore. We might see a different Kano. We'll find out.
Be setting up for something for once.
Yeah. It might be like a little setup Kano, so that'd be cool. I'm very excited to see how heroes change with this new set coming out.
I'm stoked. Is there gonna be 3 heroes in this set or just 2?
I don't know. Has that been confirmed or anything?
So the idea is that we're gonna have 3 new heroes.
So maybe we'll get a CC hero.
So the idea is that we're gonna get the Emperor, right? We're getting Yoji, the protector.
Royal Protector.
Yeah, and then was it the next person would be the Fire Seer? Which
has that been a name has been confirmed for him? Okay.
Yeah, so the Fire Seer, and I'm not sure what the name was associated with, but the Fire Seer is probably going to be the new class, is what people suspect, and considering that everything is kind of Blitz or kind of UPF like located, that's going to be the 3rd hero.
Gotcha.
And then the other assumption is that there's going to be an additional star of the show. So who that's going to be, probably Kano, but we'll see.
Oh, so is this like saying like star of the show as in like someone else is going to have that sort of ability, or is this saying like there's actually just going to be like a hero that's going to come out and make big waves?
They mean an old hero with new talents, essentially.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, all right.
So they're looking
skeptical, but that's just
I'm all for it.
I'm a little skeptical too. It doesn't really sound like super exciting to me right now, but at the same time, LSS hasn't really disappointed me.
No, they haven't. They've been very good when it comes to these new sets.
Yeah, I've been extremely happy with the game. I mean, I just I keep buying, so.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So that's it. That's the new. The playmats look cool, by the way. Like, go ahead.
I saw one of those.
You've seen these playmats, like they're great.
Yeah, what are they again?
So it's cool. It's like it looks like a royal dick, but like the People's Champion playmat is this guy's just like shouting out orders,
looks
and
cool.
then the other playmat is what we've seen as like the cover art for this set, where like these 3 guys are walking up
the throne room.
the throne room where
Do you
you
think
can
that's
see.
gonna be the Fabled?
Ooh, that could be cool.
Where's my tinfoil hat?
We need to get our hats. Dude, I don't know if the tinfoil hat will fit over my lofty hair, dude.
Dude, that's looking good. I'm over here like looking like I'm losing hair, man, but you're over there looking luscious, man.
Hey, losing hair compared to like the mane you had, like not even.
Oh,
a
man,
that's
he
true.
has to have some
It's
luscious
starting.
locks.
It's starting to grow. It's starting to get there.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always associate you with locks of hair, so.
God,
Gabe still got his hair just hiding under the
Yeah,
hat.
mine's a little crazy. Let's.
See, I like that kind of hairstyle.
It's a little
So.
wild.
Yeah.
Like a lion's
Yeah,
mane.
it definitely fits your personality. That's for sure.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Basically,
Crazy.
young.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's true. I think are you the youngest member of our team? Which is like, are you?
Yeah.
Is it either you or Adam?
I'm younger than Adam by like a year and a
You-
half.
You know what's fucking hilarious? Is that the youngest member is the one that's like the head honcho.
You guys are just fighting to my will.
You're just whipping the old guys.
Right? Well, you guys are just so old and senile, I can just take advantage.
Well, you got that young man energy, and that's what's keeping Sneep in the YouTube game. That's for sure.
Oh,
Us
yeah,
old
he yells at
people.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, we get whipped on the daily, man.
Oh, man.
Sucks.
Try to keep it
Abuse
fun.
at the retirement home.
Oh god, yeah. If you play well enough, you get entered into the Sneep retirement home. We can get one set up.
Let's go.
You can just
Oh,
the house for the
Do we
boys.
want? Oh, I got a surprise real quick.
Whip it out.
But I'm gonna whip it out. Why don't you?
Close your eyes.
I just fucking really just ran right into that. Anyways, Gabe, is there any new apparel that's gonna be happening?
I could show it on my computer if we want to see it.
Well, why don't you tell about it? Because I'm gonna be right back.
All right, hear this narrative out. So with Sneep, I'm gonna let Eric's sounds happen. Okay, with Sneep, how we have it set up is because we have our team jerseys like this right here. This is the OG, the classic. And how we have it set up, because you want to keep everything fresh, you want new clothes, you don't want to be looking stale and boring. Anytime one of the team members does very well at an event, so like top 8's a calling, wins a battle hardened, day 3's a national event, anything of that nature where they do super well, they get to choose a new theme of our like new attire, our new set. And so Eric has just been top 8ing callings left and right, and so he got to choose a new theme for the new upcoming like jerseys, playmat, sleeves, whatever you want to call it. And it's the Wild West, baby, and it's gonna be sick.
The last one we got it was in Vegas, so I was like, let's keep it.
So yeah, we're gonna do Wild West. We got the jerseys all ordered out. Sleeves and playmats we're working on, stickers. We got a video coming up of a Wild West box opening. We got lots of fun things coming on along our ways.
It'll be fun.
Dude, that's awesome.
All right,
let's see it. I'm excited. I know what we're talking about now.
So, Jonathan, I hear you're a FI player, so maybe having a bit of a FI apparel might be fun.
Look at that.
So
hot.
And then our beloved Blake was a Dromai player, so maybe got to send one of those to Japan. I'm the Oldham guy. So let's got Oldham.
Ooh, I like
apparel
that.
here.
That really nice.
That looks really sick with the shield. I love
Yeah.
that.
And we have an Icelander, but that one did not show up. So it will show up.
It's not to your house.
We're gonna be at Worlds. It's unsure if we're actually gonna have our own booth. We might be with someone else's booth. But either way, we are gonna have our product there, one way or the other, and then we are having our website go up shortly after. So
who's this for, Eric?
This is for Flesh and Baubles. You can find our Etsy page right now, in which we are still selling our keychains of like multiple heroes and multiple cards. But we will soon be putting these T-shirts up for purchase as well. So we'll have Icelander coming as well.
Yeah, get your flesh and blood drip.
It's about time that we've had some. That was the thinking. It's like if no one else is going to do it, well, we might as well.
I absolutely agree. I mean, it's it's something that has been a huge miss from the company. I mean, we saw how wild everyone went for those water bottles from Pro Tour.
True. Yeah. So yeah, it's only a matter of time, right?
I mean, those water bottles are selling for like $200.
Right?
Like, what?
I traded mine for a dinner at freaking Outback.
Is that Joe? Did Joe get that water bottle?
No, Kent got it.
Okay,
Kent
okay.
got
So
it.
I know Joe
Yeah.
has his coveted water bottle.
Yeah.
You better have gotten your own bloomin' onion.
Yeah. Yo, man, dude. We had one of our teammates, Mr. Brandon Flores. He was our steaks did not come out. Like, we did not get the right steaks. They came out pretty bad. And so we had to bring back our server, who then brought the manager, and sure enough, Brandon does like the fucking old white guy Karen sort of deal. It's like, I've been going to Outbacks longer than you've been alive. I was like,
No.
Great. Great.
I'd piddle myself right there.
Oh man, it was the experience. But always hanging out with the boys is always fun, no matter what happens. So it was
Dude,
awesome.
I love it when you reach that age where there's just no more shame. You've got
Nah,
to
dude, honestly, no.
use all the tools in the toolbox,
True.
You don't even know back in my day. Dude,
we're gonna be that way. I mean, like, I know it. I know I'm gonna be that way.
You already almost are.
True though, actually,
yeah,
though.
my middle name's Karen, so
I can see it.
Oh shit!
Oh man.
Curse you,
yeah.
Mom and Dad.
They knew. All right. I think that wraps it up. It's a little long episode, but we kind of skipped a week, so we had more to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we head out?
Jonathan goes first, and I can do one last thing.
Yeah, just kind of excited for the banned and restricted announcement coming on forward. So really excited to see what happens there. So look forward to seeing what shakes up.
Definitely.
Okay,
Gabe,
look at this. So we had one of our fans want us to sign cards.
We got a fan.
Yeah, he's wanting to sign cards, and so I don't know if I paired it the wrong way. 1 second.
That's what you're doing. Okay.
We signed the cards, but we don't know what to sign it as because there's so many of us, and so we drew.
Oh, that's
Sneepers.
smart, Gabe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You can't really tell.
No,
but
I
it
see him.
connects with his nose rings, which I was really stoked about. That was my last.
For those listening, we drew the Sneep guy on all the null rune equipments to like come together as a piece of the puzzle.
It's gonna be sick.
Yeah,
I love that idea. I think that's really cool, man.
We're getting a loyal fan base, which is I won't lie, I was a little creeped out at first, but they're honestly the coolest people, and there's nothing to be creeped out about because those guys are awesome.
Most definitely. So you should subscribe if you're not already.
I guarantee everyone listening.
I don't know. You never know.
To
There's
be
always
by
that.
now. That's true. We could get a stranded guy. Come on in. Come. Subscribe to our Sneep.
Right. Join the cult.
All right. Well, I'm going to sign us off then. Just want to say a big thank you to all those that came and visited with me. We're going to be at Bauharn, Dallas. If you're there, come say hi. And then we're going to be at Worlds as well. So, and for those loyal listeners, you know what to do at Bauharn, Dallas. If you see us, you know what to do.
Concede.
Yeah, concede. That's what we're talking about. Anyhow, thanks guys for listening. I appreciate you very much. And then I just want to say thank you, Gabe and Jonathan. With you guys bring the energy. You guys are awesome. So we're going to keep doing this going forward. We'll keep bringing the energy. We'll keep bringing the action, keep bringing the news. Thank you, Gabe Holdstein and Mr. Jonathan Wyatt, for coming on. And we'll see y'all next time.